All right, so let's talk about Richard Dreyfuss, who is one of a lot of celebrities who are no longer relevant, who seem to think that the thing to do to become relevant again is to be hateful. Now, he has a history of it. Well, this weekend he decided that to mark the screening of Jaws, an iconic movie, we're going to talk about everything but. And not only are we going to do that, we're going to be as hateful to as many groups of people as we can possibly be. Because there's no such thing as bad press. Honestly, I have no idea why so many people are just so hateful to a group of people, to many groups of people who aren't doing shit to hurt them. But anyway, let's get to the article. Richard Dreyfuss takes stage at Massachusetts Jaws screening wearing dress before delivering rant described as transphobic, and the venue apologized. Now, first off, if he wanted to wear a dress, fine. Nobody would have a problem with that. But he was obviously mocking men who wear dresses. Not because he wanted to be inclusive or, he wanted to try something new or do something that was comfortable to him. No, this was him doing a skit. And from what I'm seeing, badly at that. So let's continue. After taking the stage in a house dress, and at one point swinging his cane like a baseball bat at a Massachusetts holiday weekend screening of Jaws, Richard Dreyfuss went on to deliver a rant described by attendees as transphobic, sexist, and homophobic. So he's getting all the bigoted groups together. Isn't that nice? And yeah, I don't see him really missing anyone. There are other sexual identities that he missed, but he probably never heard of them or doesn't think they exist, so he concentrated on homophobia. Because let's face it, those other letters don't actually stand for anything. Anyway, this was disgusting, posted one attendee on the Facebook page of the Cabot Theater in Beverly, Massachusetts. How could the Cabot not have vetted his act better? Apparently, I found out too late, he has a reputation for spewing this kind of racist, homophobic, misogynistic bullcrap. The incident occurred on Saturday night prior to the film screening. I can read. In a brief YouTube video taken by an audience member, Dreyfuss can be seen walking on stage for a Q&A wearing a floral print dress and shaking his hips in a mocking way. Again, if all he did was wear a dress, that, he's signifying he feels comfortable doing that he wants to show inclusivity, that would be fine. But he's not doing that. He is mocking trans people and drag queens and actually women. So he got the trifecta with that one thing. Because, dude, women wear dresses. What are you doing? At one point, as he slowly makes his way to his seat, assisted by a cane, which somebody should hit him with, he wields the cane like a baseball bat toward the crowd. Like I said. Social media accounts of the event suggested that the trouble began when Dreyfuss started talking about his nuts director, Barbara Streisand, calling her a genius, which she is, but that women in the commenters' account of the event are so passive, that's why the movie sucked. Right. It's because of the director. It couldn't be that the actual dialogue or anything else about the movie sucked. No, it was just the director. I mean, granted, the director has a huge job, but if you're working, now granted, I know nothing of this movie, but if you're working with crap, there's only so much you can do. So, I wouldn't put it all on her for the movie sucking. I mean, it's possible that she didn't do a good job, but are we going to really just blame her? Alright, from there, Dreyfuss apparently made disparaging remarks about the Me Too movement. There's a shock. Then started down the road of how you shouldn't be listening to some 10-year-old who says they want to be a boy instead of a girl. Right. We shouldn't listen to 10-year-olds about anything. If a 10-year-old says they want a particular toy, oh, what does a 10-year-old know? I mean, they're just 10. We're just going to give them whatever we think they should, whatever toys we think they should be playing with. I mean, seriously. Yes, they are 10 years old. Yes, they are very young. But guess what? People know how they feel. Now, could it be that he might grow out of it? Sure. Or it could be that it gets worse and that he really feels like he was supposed to be born a girl instead of a boy. And you're going to disparage that because he's 10. No, just think about this. If this boy declared at 10 years old that he's a boy, nobody would say, oh, you're too young to know that. Nobody would say that. People would say, well, duh, of course you are a boy. Nobody would question that. Same thing with sexuality. Nobody questions when you claim to be straight. Nobody questions that if a kid does that. But if they claim there's something else, oh, now you're too young to know that. Why do we listen to kids about things like what toys they like, what clothes they like, what, actually, we might not even think that, what, books they might like. We listen to everything, potentially, unless it's something, even in those things, we'll only listen to them if it follows what we think they should like. Why? Why not just let them experiment with what they like? Maybe they'll discover that they didn't like it after all. Or phases are a thing. Sometimes I go on a kick where I really like this one thing, and then after maybe a month or so, I move on to something else. That's fine. But to tell them that they don't understand how they feel about things, are you sure that's the message you want to be giving these kids? Jesus Christ, what an explosion, the commenter continued. Crowd was shouting at him, and most walked out before the movie even started. Talk about the movie, asshole. And exactly that. Why is he doing this? Why is he talking about this other stuff? People are here for Jaws. They are not here to hear him talk about his career along with, whatever bigoted views he has. That's not what they came for. They came to watch Jaws, and they were excited to have someone who was in the movie. They probably wanted to hear his insights because, let's face it, all movies have these quirky stories or just these cool moments that happen behind the scenes or leading up to the movie or something. There is so much you can talk about, and he does this. I mean, fine. If he thinks, if he wants to talk about his movie Nuts, again, fine. However, dissing Barbra Streisand and blaming the movie sucking on her. And I don't know, maybe you could come up with a different anecdote that doesn't scream, I hate women? I don't know. In a statement of apology sent by the Cabot to attendees, the venue wrote, "We are aware of and share serious concerns following the recent event with Richard Dreyfuss prior to his screening of the film Jaws at the Cabot. The views expressed by Mr. Dreyfuss do not reflect the views of inclusivity and respect that we uphold as an organization. We deeply regret the distress that has caused to many of our patrons. We regret that an event that was meant to be a conversation to celebrate an iconic movie instead became a platform for political views. We take full responsibility for the oversight in not anticipating the direction of the conversation and for the discomfort it caused to many patrons." I just think it's a pity that they consider this political, because we're talking about human lives here. Your hatred of women, trans people, and gay people, that's not political. That's just you being an asshole. Because these people exist, whether you want them to or not. So, yeah, what's political about it? We are in active dialogue with our patrons about their experience and are committed to learning from this event how to better enact our mission of entertaining, educating, and inspiring our community. I would love to know what were the questions, because usually in a Q&A, depending on how it's done, the questions are screened beforehand. So how did we get into this bigoted rant from him? And the fact that he came in a dress, that whole thing is weird. Responded an attendee on Facebook. While the apology from the Cabot to their patrons seems sincere, no refund has been offered. We did not get what we paid for, which we all assumed would be a light, fun evening listening to stories and anecdotes about RD's time on the vineyard making Jaws. This was offensive and we demand a refund. And considering so many people left in the middle of it, before they even got to watch the movie, I think a refund is actually in order, because this was not what it was billed to be. I mean, some people might say, yeah, well, you should have known that he's a bigoted asshole. But at the same time, this is Jaws. I mean, you figure you could stay on topic for that at least, right? Deadline has reached out to the Cabot and a rep for Dreyfuss for additional comment. Dreyfuss apparently made similar comments at a Friday night Jaws screening at the Music Hall in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. "I live in Massachusetts, but the Cabot showing was all booked, so I saw him in New Hampshire on May 24th, a Facebook commenter wrote. He made anti-gay remarks that night, too." What is this man's problem? They want you there to talk about Jaws. They do not give a flying fuck that you are a bigot. all you're doing is just turning off people who wanted to see you. Seriously, what is wrong with the brains of these older celebrities who are doing this? This makes no sense to me. Why are you shitting on your own popularity? This really makes no sense to me. Wrote another Cabot audience member. Richard Dreyfuss is an embarrassment to society. I walked out tonight because of his small-minded, bigoted view of women and choice. Dreyfuss has been an outspoken critic of Oscar inclusivity rules and trans youth affirming their gender. Last year on PBS's Firing Line, the Goodbye Girl Oscar winner said diversity efforts made the Academy of Motion Pictures, Arts and Sciences make me vomit. Right. I'm sure they do. We're so fragile that we can't have our feelings hurt, he said. We don't know how to stand up and bop the bully in the face. The only person who I see who's fragile right now is you. Seriously. Acknowledging that people other than white people can make good movies makes you want to vomit? Exactly. How is that showing other people's fragility? Good God. At the end of Dreyfuss's Q&A at the Cabot, also caught on cell phone video, the actor plugs his 2022 book, One Thought Scares Me, saying 50 years ago, without telling anybody, they took civics out of the curriculum at public schools in America. No they didn't. I'm 53 years old. I went through civics. Nope, their civics class still exists. I'm questioning whether he understands civics, but that's a different topic. We have no knowledge of who the hell we are, and if we don't get it back soon, we're all gonna die. Oh, wow, let's just be so dramatic. We have no knowledge of who the hell we are? Does he think that America is supposed to be proudly bigoted? I'm sorry, what? What does he mean by that? We know who we are. Actually, some people try to pretend that, the U.S. has never been bigoted, but those are the people who are wrong. And if we don't get it back soon, we're all gonna die? What is he talking about besides being so dramatic? We have to make sure that your kids are not the last generation of Americans. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. Wow. Just wow. What is this man's problem? I'm sure he votes for Trump. He votes for Trump, and he doesn't see that that's going to be the thing that destroys America, not whatever bullshit he's spouting. All right. Oh, that's too bad. I'm not seeing him in a dress. What is wrong with this man? I wish I wish he had gone into detail as to what he meant by that last statement, because except for him being dramatic, I just cannot see what the hell he's talking about. I mean, yes, things are bad, and I am concerned about the violence that will take place after the election, but that's because of how polarized the society has become. It has nothing to do with the fact that civics was taken out of school. And again, I took civics. I'm 53 years old. He claims it was 50 years ago. So, yeah, I took civics. I just don't see what he's referring to. I don't see what he's referring to civics. I'm assuming he means history, not civics, because those are two different subjects. I just have no idea what he's on about. Maybe he's going senile? I honestly have no clue what is up with this man. But anyway, that is the end of that article. Oof. So, with that, I will see you guys in the next video.